the funny part is I didn't know it was like a competition. It was like a talent show type competition. I thought it was just like an open mic type thing.
Right.
I went in there, did my song. I did 2 songs, and I ended up winning. I guess they had like a little vote like system. Like I don't think it was on like Kahoot or something. I don't know what they were using. I don't know. It was some weird type of thing they were voting on, but they voted for me, and I was like, what? Being a broke college student, they're like, yeah, you won $100. I was like, give me the check. Let's go. I went to see I should have been smart and saved and like, you know, let me buy some groceries. My dumb ass went to go fucking to Stubby Fields and go celebrate real quick.
What's up, everybody? This is the Untapped Potential Podcast, where we interview local visionaries. And today, we're tapping in with Kid Cambo, a Cambodian artist from Kent, Washington. What's up, Kid Cambo? How you doing today?
Doing great, man. Living life, bro. Living good.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming through, man. Really excited to have you. You've been making some noise. Let's start at the beginning. How'd you get your name?
For the most part, I actually did it through a rap generator. So kind of like Childish Gambino. He just kind of put his name. I mean, I put in that I was Cambodian. Because I wanted to incorporate that, and then it just the rap generator just flipped up on Kid Cambo. So I was like, I'm gonna take that one. That one sounds cool.
Was that the first one that came up?
No, it was a couple other ones, but I was just like, this is kind of corny. I don't want to get my name called like that. I mean, I had a couple names that I really wanted to choose from. I did want to start maybe just doing my just full name like Janathan Path, but you know, I wanted to do something that was, you know, distinctive of like my culture and stuff. So I was just like, I'll just go with that. Kid Cambo sounds pretty cool. You know, guys kind of like a little tang to it, so
I agree. It's dope. Yeah. It's catchy too.
Yeah.
And so, like, I take it that you take a lot of pride in your culture, being Cambodian.
Yeah, I mean, within both, like, I'm Black and Cambodian, so I take in, you know, being a culture of being Black and Cambodian, so I like really like push that. Within just my Cambodian side, it's just I don't have a lot of like family in that, so it's like you know, I want to represent them as much as I can. So whatever I can do just to put my like people on, that's what I do.
I hear you. Are you Cambodian from your mom or your dad's side?
My dad's Cambodian, then my mom's Black. Okay. So it's really different because a lot of people are like they don't really see that, but when they see like meet my dad, they're like you know, they think he's like one of the coolest dudes because he supports one of my music like heavy and tough. Like he plays it every day, shares it out to people, you know, all that stuff.
That's dope. Yeah. Was your dad born in Cambodia?
No, he was born in La Grande, Oregon. So he was like the first generation in our family to be born in America.
Oh,
him and his sister, so my auntie. And then my grandparents, they were born in Cambodia. They refugeed over here.
Oh, got you. Was that part of like the war and stuff?
Yeah, the Khmer Rouge. Yeah, so they fled the country. They went from Thailand, so from Cambodia to Thailand, and then came here to Oregon. So they went to La Grande, Oregon. That was like the first spot that I went to, and then moved up to Seattle, out in Rainier Beach.
Oh, gotcha. Do they ever tell you stories about like growing up in Cambodia and like all that stuff?
I mean, small things. My grandma would say some things. My grandpa, a lot of the time, it's like they're kind of traumatized from it. I know, like, because my grandpa's kind of like a guy who really is like, he's caring, but he doesn't like show it in a certain way. Like he shows it in like gifts or something like that. Like he doesn't say like I do this with him all the time. I always like to joke. I'm like, I love you, grandpa, but he doesn't say it back. But I know he does. It's just he doesn't say it in that way just because of like the situation he's been through. And then whenever he talks about it, he doesn't like he'll talk about the Khmer Rouge and how bad it was and what he like used to do in the army and stuff because he was like in the army against them. But he would never like go into detail like all of it too much. Like it's all the stuff I learned was all online, so it's like I kind of learned that. Or my dad would teach me, like he would show me that stuff.
Yeah, that's important though. That like knowing your family's history and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so did you grow up in Kent? Like you're currently from Kent, but is that where you grew up?
Nah, so I grew up all over kind of Washington. So I grew up in Seattle. Most of it was in West Seattle. A lot of it going through like Beacon Hill in that area because my great grandma, rest her soul, she just, you know, she passed away a couple years back. She lived in Beacon Hill. So all of like my mom's side, we would always go over there and, you know, with all the little cousins, all my like older cousins would be there. And then a lot of it, you know, we moved to Kent. My parents like moved out to Kent and stuff, and we lived in Kent areas. Right now, you know, being technical, I live in Covington now with my family. But Kent is kind of like where I'm like, okay, I grew up in Kent. This is like, I went to like elementaries in Kent.
Mm-hmm. That's your home.
That's my home basically. Yeah. And like Kent and Covington is kind of like the same. People are going to say it's different, but they're like right next to each other. It's like kind of like in that area, and I'm always in Kent, so like all my friends like live on East Hill, so it's like I go hang out with them most of the time. So
yeah, and plus it's like us saying, you know, we live in Seattle, but we don't.
We don't, yeah, because like I mean, if you go out of town, like if you go to like anywhere else, they're gonna be like, where you from? You're gonna say just Seattle because everyone knows Seattle. They're not gonna know what's Kent, Washington. Like is that like a different place? Like they don't know. So like you know, the first thing I mean, I say I'm from Seattle to like certain people, but like if I'm from here, I'm just like I'm from Kent. You know.
What was that like growing up like in West Seattle? You know, Beacon Hill and Kent, being Cambodian and black. What was your experience?
Well, my experience, I mean, going into it, a lot of it, I mean, I can go really deep into like the story of like my life and stuff because within my parents, you know, they were on and off, and you know, my dad used to live in California, so I used to go to California all the time when I was a little bit younger. But within that, I mean, you know, when you're as a kid, you don't really like know anything. I mean, the craziest thing I've ever seen when I was young in West Seattle, because my grandparents, we used to live with my grandparents when my dad was in California, me and my mom, and we would be outside, and this crazy like car chase, like the insane thing, and someone was like on the back of the car, like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but they were flying off the back of the car, like holding on to
Wait, they were outside on the car?
It was like a drop top, like one of those like drop top cars, and someone was like hanging. That's the only like member I can like think of. I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm like a kid when you see this, you know?
That's crazy.
But like, I mean, West Seattle wasn't too bad. You know, a lot of people want to say like about in certain like areas of Seattle it's bad. I mean, I think I had a good life in terms of being in Seattle because I mean, my mom's really smart, so she had like really good jobs, and what she did when she graduated from like her community college, she, you know, put me in like a good situation to live in. So we moved to Covington, have a really good house and stuff, and good neighborhood. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. And so, like, when did you start music? What was your intro to music?
I mean, if we want to go like technical, I started doing music like when I was young, not like recording or anything, but I mean, my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, they loved it when I like scenes like Michael Jackson. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, man. Like they used to put me in like freaking karaoke like times like with my family. Like a lot of them when we had like parties together, we would always have like all the kids like kick it and stuff and all that stuff, and they always say, Jonathan, come sing you know, some Michael Jackson. They put it on because they know I loved Michael Jackson. My grandma on my mom's side, my black grandma, she loved him, and you know, she wanted me to sing him all the time, so I would sing Michael Jackson. And then when I get to middle school, I was actually in show choir.
Oh,
like you would never think it. Yeah, I was in show choir with a bunch of people because, like, I mean, you take an elective for certain classes. You know, you can do like band or something, or they make you like force you to do some type of like arts of like elective. And I did choir because I was like, okay, I used to sing like when I was younger. Let me just do this, and that's what it like kind of started, like kind of like a music. Obviously, without the years, I didn't do it. I was doing basketball, I was playing sports, playing baseball, but then once I got to college, it was really just more of like okay, I kind of want to do this because it was fun. My friends used to freestyle all the time. I was terrible at freestyling, but I would try to do it with them. I would always just kind of like sing kind of like covers, walking around like at ISU and just singing. Like I'd go up to people, like mainly girls. Hopefully my girl don't get mad seeing this, but but I would go up to people and just start singing and stuff. Like it was just to, you know, just kind of be like a guy, because like I'm a person that likes to make someone happy, not like just girls. Like even I go up to people and just start singing, they don't think that I can sing because it's like it was a different atmosphere at ISU. It was like, you know, a lot of white people that were there. So
that's
like,
Idaho State University.
That's Idaho State University.
That's like deep in Idaho too, right?
Yeah,
it's like
Pocatello.
Mad white people.
Wait,
mad
so if you were to put it on a map,
yeah,
where would Idaho State College be?
It's like, so Idaho, it has that little thing up in like
the panhandle type.
The panhandle type where it's like Moscow and there's like Pullman's right there.
Yeah.
And then you got the middle to the like the bottom is Boise, and it's all the way down to the right. So it's
wow.
It's like Pocatello to the right. Deep, bro. It's like deep. Like it was a different experience for me because it was like I never been out of Washington, like stayed somewhere else. I've been out of the country, and it's not out of the country. Actually, yeah, out of the country. I've been to Mexico, but like I've been to like different states and stuff. But nothing like Idaho. It was like something different for me. But I grew to like find some friends, you know, part of like who I was, kind of like had the same similarities, and they were really cool people, and we just started doing like a bunch of freestyling and all that type of stuff. And then once I came out to Washington, I had friends that did music, and one of my good friends, his stepdad he was like an engineer and producer, so he wanted me to record at his home studio. So went and did that, trying to learn and figure out some things there, find like a sound. And I mean, it was bad. The first time I did it was just terrible. Like it's like riding a bike, you know, you got to have the training wheels and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, you fall a couple of times and you do take them off, but after that, once like I really like doing it, I like the process of doing it and how I sounded coming back off of me when I listen to my headphones or listen in the car. I was like, man, I really want to just do this. So within that moment, and I did like that first song, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just run with it and keep going.
Gotcha. What artists do you draw inspiration from?
My biggest one was Kendrick Lamar. That was like the biggest thing. Like he was one of the guys I was like, man, I want to be like a musician or like an artist that made music, like got into it because his wordplay was just so insane to me.
Right.
But I don't think I can like emulate anything he sounds. So I think like most of the time was like, you know, J. Cole was one of them that I really liked.
Oh, yeah.
I tried to be like when I was just, like back in 2018, I tried to like sound like J. Cole. But in terms of like inspiring, just in terms of music, I mean, a lot of people do it, and it's not even like big artists. Like even like the people that are local next to me, it's like they inspire me. It just depends on the sound, because you know I pick off new things within now and like you know before. Like a lot of times, you know, you get like big artists like Kanye, you get a lot of big artists like Young Thug, freaking Lil Wayne. You know, you try to find all those things that you're like you want to like inspire from. You want to be kind of like them, but then you kind of put it to like the new school. Like there's a lot of new people that like make really good music. And you want to kind of emulate that all into one and make it your own sound. So for the most part, when I was doing it, you know, I listened to a lot of Juice WRLD. I listened to a lot of, again, Young Thug, a lot of J. Cole. Corday is one of my favorites now too. He does like really good wordplay, and it's just learning from a lot of different artists. So whatever I can get inspired to make my own sound, I kind of go off that.
Gotcha. That's dope. And you do have a really unique sound. Like I would describe your music as like something I would bump when I'm just like driving down. Like,
a lot of people
I'm just
say that.
vibing. You know, like that's cool. How would you describe your music though?
Vibing, honestly, that's same exact thing. Like I do like I said, I mean before the podcast, you know, before we talked about it, I wouldn't say I have like just a rap genre. It's not like just straight rap, not just straight hip hop, not just straight R&B. I just kind of get a vibe into what feels right, and what I feel at the moment. And I think within my the certain vibe to it is just like happy music, you know, whatever it kind of keeps you going. But then also if you listen to like, you know, the rest of my music, some of it's sad, some of it's like things that I've gone through. Like I lost a couple people in my life, so like those music kind of like picture that and show that in a sort of way of like how I feel. So it's just all in like a vibe. I don't have like okay, he's like always an upbeat rapper or he's a mumble rapper. Like I don't do that. I just kind of just go off of like what's good to me and what other people will like kind of you know, listen to and like.
Are you affiliated like with the group? Do you have like a group that you kind of like rap with or like make songs with like frequently?
Yeah, so right now we've kind of done a little bit of kind of like a pause on it. I go with GFB. They're called Go For Broke Productions. That's what we kind of call it.
And that's the group, not like a studio?
No, not a studio. It's a group. So we say the productions part to it just to make it sound kind of like, you know, professional. But it's Go For Broke, GFB.
Okay.
So me and my guy, Billy, we kind of put that together. We had his, technically his uncle-in-law, but he's like the same age as us.
Oh, okay. Gotcha,
and then his little brother who does music. He does like the producing. He like sings and stuff. And then we had some other homies that were in it. Right now, it's kind of just panned out. Everyone's kind of doing their own thing right now.
Yeah.
But it's still all love. Like I'm still like, okay, GFB, that's my people. We're getting shit back together right now because back in 2019, I think it was 2019, we did a show out the Hard Rock Cafe and we did a GFB. That was like our first show together. So that's why we kind of had everyone in it.
That's dope. That's actually my next question. Like, what are some shows that you've done recently?
Yeah, so some of the shows I've done, again, that GFB one was the one I put together, me and Billy, ourselves, and his actually father-in-law, because his father-in-law he works in a band called Clientele. So I don't know if he does drums or if he does, I don't know if it was bass or guitar. I just know he works with some of the instruments. We did that at the Hard Rock Cafe. But the one before that I actually did an actual performance, like with just me just rapping, was actually at Wazoo.
Oh, at Wazoo.
Yeah, it was at Wazoo. So I did it for it was a sorority. They like had a little thing that was going on. It was like some Asian multicultural sorority. So I just went and did that. And I was like invited all my friends. I was like, yo, come, I'm about to just perform at this. I think it was at the Cub. So it was at the Cub where I did that.
That's what's
and
up.
then did that show for the first time. And I was like, wow, I kind of really want to do this. Because when I did it, I was super nervous. I didn't know. I was like, there was a lot of people.
Was that your first big performance?
That was my first big performance. I mean, I've performed before doing show choir and stuff. Yeah. But as a kid, you kind of like, it kind of just kind of goes by. You don't really think about it too much. But like now, like going in years after all that, I was like, man, I'm super nervous and stuff. Like I got all these people. Like it wasn't just like one sorority. There's like one sorority was running it, and there's other sororities are in it. There's frats, like fraternities in it. And it's like all these people that are like, I don't know them, but they're like people of my people. They're a bunch of Asians, like sororities and frats. So all of the people that I kind of associate with as well, they were all there. So it's like, damn, I want to make sure I can make this like sound good and stuff. And hopefully all my friends like, enjoy it and all that.
Right.
The funny part is I didn't know it was like a competition. It was like a talent show type competition. I thought it was just like an open mic type thing.
Right.
I went in there, did my song. I did 2 songs, and I ended up winning. I guess they had like a little vote like system. Like I don't think it was on like Kahoot or something. I don't know what they were using.
What?
I don't know. It was some weird type of thing they were voting on, but they voted for me, and I was like, what? Being a broke college student, they're like, yeah, you won $100. I was like, give me the check. Let's go. I went to see I should have been smart and saved and like, let me buy some groceries. My dumb ass went to go fucking to Stubby Fields and go celebrate real quick. And I was like, hey,
drinks for everyone.
No, dead ass. I was like, drinks for everyone. I was like, yo, all the friends that came out with me, hey, we're getting a shot because the shots was like $4. But we're like, I'm trying to get the most expensive ones. The most expensive was like $15. So it's like,
man. Hey, R.I.P. to Stubbies though, man.
Yeah.
What's it called?
What a bummer.
No, they call it the Timber.
The Barnyard or something.
It's like the Timber. It used to because it was this restaurant that they had that was down there. They made it like new. It was like in like 2019.
I remember that. It was like a bunch of little spots, right?
Yeah, it's in downtown Pullman. It's right next to the Evolve one. So
it was like we talked about before the podcast. Like we both graduated from Wazoo, so it's cool to hear that you went to Wazoo too, man.
Go Cougs, man.
Go Cougs.
I'm honorary Coug, bro.
Let's get it
for life.
How was that though? What was your experience like at Wazoo and like the whole vibe there?
I think it was really good for me, just because I was really close to a lot with my friends that I grew up with. I guess when I went to Idaho State, I kind of ventured out, made new friends, was just, good because I like to connect with new people.
Right.
But it was just like, it wasn't home for me. It didn't feel home. But I didn't want to be too close to home because it was like, I'm not trying to be around my family. Like, I love them, but I don't want to be around them too much during my college years.
Right.
So I was like, let me go to Wazoo. I know my friends are out there. I can live with them. And I mean, for the most part, it was a great experience. There's up and downs, obviously, within, those years and stuff. Obviously, bad relationships and, situations that obviously happen out there. But I could say, for the most part, I loved it out there, man. It was so fun, like, going to college, waking up, seeing your friends every day.
Right.
Going to school was, it was still a fun experience, like, even just learning, like, new things and stuff. And then just, that weekend, or even not even weekend, like you guys know, like that Tuesday. when it's Monday and that Tuesday comes around, you're like, hey, what you guys on? Stubby Tuesdays is going up. Let's go. Come on.
Stubby Tuesday, Wing Wednesday, something
Wednesday.
else on
every night.
It was Mike Thursdays, and then Fridays just, all right, back to Stubbies. But then it's like all of it was like, my favorite time of the year was football season.
Oh yeah,
the college football Saturdays. I was a part of that year when Gardner. I think you were there too. Gardner Minshew, were you there?
Yeah, I don't think I was, man. Wait, that might have been.
That was
my last
2018.
year?
That was 2018.
I graduated in May. Spring of 2018.
Yeah. So it should have been fall 2018.
I was gone.
He was gone already. He graduated the spring before. I remember
watching them. Like that was my first time as an alumni watching them. I was like, man, that would be a good time out there.
Yeah. Man, it was crazy. I remember the games that we went to, and Gardner Minshew was a dog, man. Like, he was crazy. And I like talked to him. I met him. Like, I see him all the time there. Because he used to hang out with one of the homies. I don't know if you know who he was. His name is Hunter Dale. He was like one of the
he was one of the players on the team.
Yeah, he was one of the defensive backs back there. He was one of the like really cool guys I was cool with. And man, it was just crazy going to those games. And that Oregon game when we had the game day of the week on Friday.
Yeah, that's
we
crazy.
Upset it. I promise you, that was the funnest day because we all had class, right? But we all like ended up leaving. Like everyone like during class left because they all had the buses come in. They had all the things. I didn't even end up going to the thing in the morning, like where like they had like the show and stuff, the pregame show, because I was way too drunk. The night before, night before, like I was way too lit. So once we had the game day and stuff, we had fun. The shit went crazy. Man, just rushing that field with everyone, it was a different time. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna like from Wazoo. Like now, they're never gonna get that feeling because of COVID and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe the team is not gonna be as good as before, but I think that year was just the best time. I mean, all my friends were doing good. Everyone's having like a healthy time. Everyone's doing great in class. And just that year was just super fun, just to go out, be with a lot of people, you know, meet a lot of new people and stuff. It was so cool.
Dope,
I love that year.
Yeah, Wazoo's something different. Like once you graduate, you just miss it.
Yeah, it's a great time, man.
Yeah, no, that's cool though. I actually want to turn the attention to some of your music though, man. You dropped from what I've seen on Spotify, you have one album out at least on Spotify. It's insert songs here, right?
Yeah,
We're pulling it up right
I
now.
want to pull that up real quick. So I just want to talk about this album. Have you released? Because I know some artists they release albums, but they just like don't put them out like on Spotify or Apple.
They do on
music.
like SoundCloud.
Have you had albums before this one, or is this actually your first album?
No, I would say this is actually my first, and I'm gonna say like this is my first studio album in general.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously independent of myself, but actually doing it in a studio. I did do kind of like a mixtape. I dropped it before. I took it down just because I didn't really like the quality of it. It was sensed into it like an album because that's what Spotify kind of puts it as, or what like TuneCore puts it as.
Yeah.
Just because it was like 10 songs. I think it was just kind of like a mixtape. Just because I dropped all those songs before on my SoundCloud and people wanted it on like, different streaming services. But Insert Songs here was definitely like something that I worked on all of like 2020, that COVID-19 situation.
Yeah.
I mean, I went down from I was working, right? I graduated from college, right? And then I went to this job that I was working at in Seattle for a couple months. It was like maybe 2 months. And then COVID situation happened.
Right, yeah.
I'm all stuck. Like usually I was doing like work with my friend. He was like doing my stuff for me. He, do my recordings, do my engineering and all that stuff. But then it kind of stopped because one, he had a kid, so we can't see each other, COVID, all that stuff. And we're all on lockdown. So I'm at home by myself. I don't have any of these equipment because I would rely on, him to help me get my stuff out. And for the most part, those few months, like the first month of COVID, that March, I had COVID. Like it was the worst, and no one knew what it was. Yeah, man, no one knew.
So you actually got it like right as everything
I was original. Like I'm an OG COVID head. Like, I had COVID. Like I was the first one to have it. It sucked, man. I got it because I used to take the light rail to work every morning.
Mhm.
So I think that's where I got it from.
Oof.
Yeah. So when they made us go back to like home to like work from home and stuff, I got it. And I told my boss, I was like, man, I don't feel right. This don't seem like anything. And they don't know, like, no one knew what it was. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
you probably just have a flu. You probably have a cold. Talk to my, like, doctors and stuff. Like, at Kaiser, I was like, look, I don't feel right. This does not feel right. I don't think I'm, like, supposed to be having a stuffy nose for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And they're like, oh, just wait it out. Do that 14 days that they were saying.
Yeah.
So I waited 14 days, and I thought it was good. I walked around. I was great. And I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to get back to job and, like, work and stuff. They laid me off because of the COVID thing. Yeah, because they're like, we don't have enough funds to pay everyone because all this whole thing and stuff. Like, because within that job, they needed people to go out. It was called ABC Legal. They had people like go out and serve papers. And it was kind of like I was working as like a customer support. So the people that were serving the papers, they call us. So not people were working. Money is lost. Like they had to let go of people. I mean, I'm the new guy, so they're like, okay, you got to go.
Fuck, man.
I wasn't working for maybe 6 to 8 months, I think, at that time, like during that situation.
Damn.
So I was at home the whole time. And when I had COVID, I thought I was cool after that 2 weeks. I go out, kind of walk around and stuff. I'm thinking I'm fine. Then the next morning after that 14 day, I had a sharp pain in my chest. And I was like, what? I thought I was done with this. I was like, they said 14 days. I thought I'm okay. I'm good. But they're like, I called my provider. I was like, I don't feel right. Like, I can't breathe. Like, it's really bad. They told me to go to the ER. They found out I had pneumonia. So it was a viral, not a bacterial. So they couldn't treat it for it. Now they can. Like, they were learning, like, if you still give the bacteria, it can help with, like, pneumonia and stuff. But they didn't know that back then. So they were like, they basically said, you have a pneumonia. You got to
go away.
Go home. Yeah, go home and just sleep it off. Like, it should go off a couple days. And I'm like, dude, I'm seeing all these stories. People are passing away. I'm like, even from different ages. Like, I mean, I know a lot of older people were, but they were saying, like, different people were like, I mean, if they had, like, conditions like, I think it was asthma or anything, or, like, some low conditions, like, of not being healthy or something like that. I found out that I had low iron. Like, they told me, that, like, you have low iron. You got to start taking iron pills. So I was like, dang, maybe that's why I'm getting, like, sick so bad. So I had to take iron pills, and now I kept telling them, like, oh, I still can't breathe. Like, I'm sharpness. I can't sleep because it's hurting my chest. Like, I had to sleep a certain way. I had to do breathing exercises just to get it to, like, back to where it was. And they're like, here's an inhaler. This will help you out. So I had to do an inhaler for, like, all of, like, even for, like, this album, I did an inhaler. Like, I was doing it. So during that time, once I had, like, that COVID and I was hurting, I was like, damn, bro, I'm in my room, no job. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do right now. Like, I'm, like, depressed. Like, I was at a point depressed. I was, like, 10 pounds heavier. Like, if you probably see me now, you're like, this kid's scrawny, but, like, I was, like, huge. I was so depressed. And then I just was like, man, let me just start doing music again. Let me start writing. Let me just start recording. I just did I did it off a free website. It was called Soundtrap, just recording music and stuff, just doing that. And I would post snippets on Instagram, kind of like do my thing. And people didn't know I had COVID at the time, but then I brought it up. They're like, wow, this kid's doing fucking music and COVID. Like, how the hell are you fucking like putting some like music out? And then I dropped some things. It was kind of like mid. It wasn't too like good and stuff. But one of my friends that I went to high school with, he was really, he was a producer. So he did like a lot of things in producing and he made beats. He like called me up and he was like, this was like middle of, I think like Mayish, kind of like summerish, kind of like in 2020, past the 2019 like COVID stuff.
Right.
He hits me up and he's like, yo, you know, I've been liking what you're doing. I see what your stuff is like, you know, posting. I known you for years, so I want to like help you out. And I was like, okay, well, what's the sitch? I was like, what's going on? He's like, I got this guy. Well, I won't name because I don't really have like, we're not good no more. So I don't want to like get his name out no more. But he's like, I have this guy that does music. He's like pretty big. Let me show you this IG, has a big following and all that stuff. He can help you out with music. We just need you to come down here and we can figure some stuff out. And I was like, when you come out where? I was like, I'm in Vegas right now. I was like, damn, during the pandemic? They're like, yeah, Vegas is open. I'm like, okay, so what's the switch? Like, what's going on? And he was like, well, we'll fly you out. I talked to the guy. He's like, we'll fly you out today. I'm like, today? I don't even got my, I'm not packed without bearings. He's like, come out today. And like, in my head, I'm like, I might get scammed. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it seems a little
fishy. It's fishy, bro. But at the time, it was good and bad. And I'm going into it. Basically, he brought out artists. We did a little writing camps, worked with different producers, different engineers and all that stuff. And it was a good experience. That's how I got all this insert songs here stuff.
Oh, okay.
Was from that situation. So he flew me out to Vegas. We were in a penthouse suite. Like, biggest thing I've ever seen. It was a fucking one of those what's the movie? Hangover?
Was it in a hotel?
Yeah, Hangover Hotel.
Oh,
it was
wow.
one of those. Like, it was insane. Like 2-story, 4 bedrooms, big ass room. Like, it was crazy. I never seen any of that shit. Like,
That's wild.
it was pretty cool. So I kind of got into it. I was like, man, I'm not to work with this dude. I'm just fucking just do it. While that was happening, because he flew me out and he kind of paid for all my stuff, we went to the studio the first time. We went to LA and we went to the studio that TDE records in. So some of the TDE artists like Sir, SZA, J-Rock, they were recording there. So he had me up in there. One of their engineers did like a little song. You know, he gave me kind of a sauce of like, this is how you should do music. And I kind of ran with it. And that's how I like came up with my sound. And then like, so everyone fucked with it. So I appreciate him for that certain situation, but certain things obviously in the back end, it didn't work out because of the shit that happens. But within that, and I'll make this kind of quick within the story. So we were going out to Vegas every single time. I brought up John Thomas, my homie Villy. I flew him out with me. So they didn't have money at the situation because COVID and them. Right. I had my back end from all of the unemployment. That's what it was. Right. So I got 8 racks that just came into my account. So I was like, fuck it. Hey, I was like, hey, you guys want to come to Vegas to me? They're like, yeah, but we don't have no money. I got you. I'll pay for it right now.
That's a real friend right there.
No, bro, dead ass. I told him, I was like, you two are the ones I know because, Billy, you've done everything for me in terms of engineering. We did this, show together. You've always been there for me and helped me out with my music and, get me where I was. John, I fucking love you. Like, you do shit, like, right. Like, you make music great. Like, if I had 2 people that I had to choose to bring with me, it's going to bring you 2 and we can try to bring other people. Because it was this kind of like the other guy's scheme was to bring all these artists and do all this writing camp and work with other people. Mm-hmm. So I was like, look, I'm in front for you guys right now. If you guys can pay me back with me later, that's fine. Just, I got you guys. So got them out to come. We did a writing camp, met all these producers. Some of the producers that's on these songs, 6 Points was one of them. Trill K was one of them. I think 6 Points produced the Mode one. I think he did Mode. And then Trill K did My Dogs. And actually 6 Points did that one too. So I had them help produce those ones as well. And then within just doing the album, I did I think it was like the first 5-6 songs out there in Vegas. And then we went from Vegas and we went to LA. So I did that in the studio. This is where it gets where I'm like kind of like beefing with the other dude. He's not really doing like his things. He's trying to tell me and he's like, oh, we're going to make you do this and that, but it's not working. So I kind of took things in my own hand. I'm like, I'm going to market myself. I'm going to do things that you're trying to sign me to your independent label. But I don't think it's going to work out. Like, I don't like the stories I'm hearing. The homie, like, he stopped working with you. He's the one that brought me, so I'm not going to work with you if he's not going to work with you. Stopped going to Vegas. We had one time we went to LA for the last time and, finished up a couple songs there. Jay Shriver was the engineer that basically he did all of my songs for the album. He was a great guy that I met out there, and I met a lot of good people there in that situation. And then when I came here, it was kind of like the summer of 2020. That's when I kind of finished out the album, and I did it with Jordan Santana. So he engineers for Travis Thompson and Macklemore. So he was doing with Force Records, Tyler Dobson, them. So I reached out to him. I was like, I'm trying to find a studio. Like, what's a good price to this and that? Right. Worked with him. Really good dude. He's like a really good guy. And then when I started doing that, I was like, yeah, I'm working on the album, so I'm trying to get a couple songs. It's okay if we get some, stuff down. I'm gonna send it out to my other engineer. Obviously you get some of the recording aspects to it, and getting the recognition to that. Did all that, dropped the album. I love it, man. It was a really fun experience. I think the only thing I can take away from not dropping it was maybe dropping it too soon, like keeping it in a vault, or like just drop singles out of it. Because I feel like that's kind of like the marketing, and that's like the music aspect. Because a lot of people aren't gonna jump into listen to the album. Because the songs I did drop before this was To the Top and The Town 206, and those were with big people. K God, he was big on TikTok. I put, I think, 2 bands for a feature for him.
Right.
Got it up to like 36,000 or plays, streams and shit. And then Ellis Prescott, really big in Seattle. Yeah. He owns Town Entertainment. I don't know if you guys heard of them, but he does all that stuff in terms of that. So I did a song with him. Obviously got some blow out of that too. So
that's what's up. I was actually about to point out that one of my favorite songs on the album is To the Top.
Yeah. K God is a good artist, man. He's smart, man. He knows like what to do in terms of marketing himself. Like he really was really big in TikTok before they took out his page and stuff, because he was really like popping off. He had like almost 7 million views on TikTok, and I was like, I seen him, and I was like, dude, I gotta make a song with you, bro. Like I just want to catch the wave and see what you're doing. I actually took some of the sauce that he did, man. Like no cap, I like took some of the sauce. I just brought it to Instagram because I knew like I feel like I can do it on Instagram. I didn't really like fuck with TikTok back then, so I was like, let me try to do it on Instagram, and that's how like my shit was like popping off. Videos were popping off and stuff. So it was pretty cool. So he was a really good dude. I mean, I love that song, man. That was one of my favorites on there too.
Real quick before we wrap up, I want to go to like your actual YouTube videos and check out some of your songs.
Yeah, of course.
We got this one pulled up right here. I thought the production of this video was just really dope. Like the effects and everything.
Yeah, that's my guy Tonic. Them guys out at New Wave Records.
Yeah. This is Juice by Kid Cambo. Yeah, this video is filthy. The song is dope too. Everything.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. A lot of the people, when I was promoting the song, and when I was doing like the IG promotions, I was doing like certain, like I wanted to do different countries and see what they would like. A lot of like Argentinians really like this song for some reason.
Argentina,
really?
Yeah, bro. That's like I get like a lot of Argentinians that comment on my stuff, and they do it in Spanish. So I'm like, I had to switch it over and have like the language thing.
Is that Spotify like sending them like the song or whatever?
It's not even Spotify. It's just the Facebook ads.
Oh,
like, I don't know if you guys have done it before, but like within promoting, I think it's really good. I mean, you're gonna have to spend money. A lot of people are like, don't sell yourself, just keep posting and find. I mean, you gotta
market yourself.
You gotta market yourself, and marketing takes a lot of like money into it. That's why I have the second job to do that certain stuff. And I used to do kind of like Spotify playlisting and stuff, but I just felt like those weren't really in like an organic way.
Yeah.
So I started doing it on IG, and then you post your link on it. A lot of people would go in and just listen to your stuff and just watch your music videos. Obviously, I would love for the numbers to just keep going and going.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's all in just like a process and time. You never know what is gonna happen. Things can pop off. Like I had some, those songs that kind of just went off for me, and I think that's still like a milestone for me because it's not where I was before. Just within the music video, I mean, it was great, man. I did it at my homie's house. They used to live in Renton, so we just did it there. My homegirl, my baby right there, she's with me. That's my baby. Got her in the video.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hey, hit him with the like right there.
Oh yeah, I gotta like your video.
Yes, sir. That's cool, man. So where can people find your music?
Everywhere, man. You search up Kid Cambo. I'm the first thing that comes up.
Kid Cambo everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
All right.
So you can go on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, bro.
Everywhere,
you can find me on everything, bro. Because I try to market myself, make sure that name is out there. If I also can, put it out too as well. I mean, I got a lot of shit that's coming up in Seattle.
Yeah.
What do you got coming up? What do you want to plug?
Yeah, man. I got a show going on with Mediums Collective. I did a couple things with them in the past. We did some things that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
They had put me on a couple shows with them, but for now, it's coming out in January. So we're doing it January 22nd. That's gonna be the date for it. I'm doing like a show kind of with a bunch of Cambodian artists, a couple of my artists that are like from here too as well, from Kent.
Yeah.
But this dude named Kid Cambo, really big artist. I'll kind of chop it up because I know you guys want to get this all kind of closed up pretty soon here. But he, I met him on 2K. I was playing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. And he's big. Like if you look up his stuff, he has like 1 million views on his YouTube. So I met him on 2K. We kind of chopped it up. You know, I was Cambodian. I actually met him for the first time this year, and I'm talking about like this is a dude like I used to idolize. Like he was like a big artist, like a Cambodian artist. I literally like put a lot of people on.
That's crazy.
And he was like a really big artist. And I actually got to meet him in person in Vegas. And he had a like own fucking suite that he had, and you know, gave me some shots and drinks and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Man.
I have him coming out to Seattle. He's gonna be headlining. Obviously, I'm gonna be kind of putting my name out there too. And he has some other Cambodian artists that he's bringing. So
that's
we're
awesome.
doing that, yeah, for January 22nd.
That's what's up. Where at?
At the Nectar Lounge.
Nectar Lounge.
Yeah, Nectar Lounge. January 22nd. Should be starting at like 7, 8 o'clock.
So when this episode drops, it'll be a month away from that event. So make sure to check out January 22nd at Nectar Lounge. We'll put the link for the tickets and everything in the description.
Yeah. Man, thanks for coming through and sharing
Of course,
your story,
man. I
for real.
appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, man.
And thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, and catch us next time.